Hey guys, this is VW again, making a short video. I haven't been making a bunch lately, but I just want to kind of give you guys an update on my situation. My dad is doing a whole lot better. He's almost walking by himself again, almost using the bathroom by himself again and everything from his aneurysm. It's only been like 2 months, so he's healed up a lot more than people thought. On a day-to-day I guess a day-to-day setup, I am still fighting, my neighbor who's an ex-military guy, and I'll go to sleep, and in the morning I'll wake up and just my neck will hurt, and so he's mostly just getting me when I sleep. If I'm up and about, driving around, he's still trying to hit me remotely, but it doesn't work too good. And what else? And I wanted to address one of the comments. Somebody commented that putting up all this stuff, the shielding to shield yourself was kind of crazy, and don't do it because it makes us kind of look crazy. And but if I didn't shield, if I didn't shield and I went to bed, I'd be brain dead. I'd be dead. This guy would have killed me in my house, and that's a fact. He would have killed me in my house. So I'm not sure if there's certain levels of harassment people are getting. I think some people say they'll start feeling headaches during the day and it's an attack and then it goes away kind of. But the guy that's doing it to me is an ex-military guy. He's militantly torturing me in my house. He's militantly amping up the weapons, the torture weapons, as high as they'll go, so that they will do maximum damage. They'll do lethal damage to the human body. He doesn't care. He doesn't care if I live or die. He tells everybody he wants me out of here, and then he pipes it up as much as he can, and he's like, well, I'll either kill him or he'll get out of here. That's his kind of motto. So I'm not sure if that person who left the comment is attacked at a certain time during the day and then it stops, but this guy is always doing it to me. I don't know if he doesn't have a job and this is his job now, if he's getting government funding to do this or whatever. I go out during the day, and whenever I go out, I'll see the East Baton or the sheriff's department, cop cars, city cop cars, going by me. So he has connections to the police department, and he's lying to them, telling them I'm dangerous, and so they get involved and they want to harass me too. Now, what I found is the best thing for that, and it actually worked. I called the sheriff's department, and I told them where I stood on it. I told them what was going on. I told them that I'm not a crazy guy, that I'm not dangerous, that I'm going to do everything legally. And I talked to a lieutenant there, and it stopped. It stopped seeing, the cop cars when I ran instantly. So I don't know. A lot of these cops are not involved. And they're good guys, they're good guys. So, and I'm not sure, maybe in some situations cops are using these weapons on citizens. In my case, it's an ex-military guy. He's nuts, and he's lying to cops. He's lying to his connections and saying that I'm crazy and that he needs to get me out of here. But if you straighten out things with authorities, with real authorities who, do things by the book, it can work out. And I'm not sure. Everybody's situation is different. For my situation, it's this guy, and I know he's lying to people and saying I'm dangerous so that they will, they'll get in on my psychological harassment, which really I don't care about. I feel sad when I see a cop car caravanning me, or he'll do the lights, he'll mess with the street lights, always make a red light when I go up to it, which doesn't work too good because it turns it orange, and I just go through it anyway. It wastes a lot of the city's money, a lot of the city's time, but what they do, the organizers of this, they try and amp it up as much as they can, say you're dangerous, they want to say that you're the bad guy, so they can get people involved on their side, killing you in your house. That's my situation. And so for my situation, what I found is being honest with the real authority figures who are not trying to break the law and kill people in their homes. It does good things for you. And I talked to my psychiatrist and a post-traumatic stress disorder lady who she doesn't believe me. She thinks I'm schizophrenic. However, the things that she gives me, to ignore this, they work. They work for it, even though it's really happening. Um, and those things are weird because they say like they don't believe me, and she's looked at the YouTube videos, she's looked online, and she thinks it's like a mass delusion or a mass kind of a mass schizophrenia. And I think it's just that these guys, the post-stress people, the psychiatrists, they're not equipped to deal with it. And if they did admit that it was going on, they'd have to do something about it because they're caregivers. So you got to give them a break, and you got to let them help you as much as they can help you. And really, there's so many good people out there. She told me to write down, but I don't need to write it down, that there are so many people on our side. They may not believe you, but they're still on our side, and you can get them to help you. I talked to a lieutenant at the sheriff's department, and then I haven't seen one city police or sheriff car caravanning me. So these guys lie, and they make you seem like you're dangerous so that good cops get involved, and they think they're actually helping to rid a neighborhood of a dangerous person or somebody who's going to blow up and kill people or something. So these guys are amping it up. They're lying about people to kill, to murder. And just that person who commented, not to put up shielding, for me, I have to. He does it all the time. He's trying to amp up the weapons all the time. He's adding new additions all the time to what he's shooting at me. ELF, EMF. The ELF is the worst because it's just like you don't hear it and it crushes muscles. And if he's putting that on me while I sleep, it's really hurting me. It's probably, damaging some of my muscles and my nerves. They really want to damage your nervous system. So that then they can tell people, hey, this guy's paranoid, he's dangerous, and you look like that because your nervous system's being destroyed. I'd also like to say, like, a lot of people think that everybody's out to get them, everybody's involved, because some people will treat them badly or not want to look at them or not want to talk to them. That's kind of probably a result from your body being destroyed and the way that you look kind of paranoid because you're on the defense, and so people react to that, and they're not involved. They're not involved in the mass kind of organized gang stalking, but there are a lot of people who are involved, and they're usually lied to about it. There's usually a couple people who know what's really going on, and then they lie to a big group of people, so then you're just a targeted individual, and the lies get out of hand, and then it's a legend, and then it's like you can't stop it, and there are a bunch of people in on it. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of life. I like taking care of my dad and trying to get all that straight. I work for a charity organization, but I can't get a real job because of this. So, I'm going to actually have to probably get Social Security because of this. Is going to create a burden on the state. These guys, I don't know what they're doing. It's the dumbest thing in the world. It hurts people. It's a waste of time. But it's not just a waste of time. It's actually really hurting people. It's hurting people and wasting time and hurting probably their own families, the people who just want to live normal lives. But I guess they get something out. He gets to be the boss. He gets an enemy. So he gets all the good torture weapons, and he gets to kind of network out with police that he knows. But he just has to lie and lose his soul to do it, or if he had a soul in the first place, I don't know. I don't really want to insult him because then he'll amp up the torture. I don't really care about him. I want to focus on fixing my situation. I don't have nothing to do with them. I want to live my own life. They are murdering me in my house, though. Even with my shielding and with the aluminum, it still goes through it. I'm blocking maybe 90% to 95% of the electromagnetic frequencies that they're shooting in my house, but still that 5% to 10% that they're getting through does hurt. It hurts because you're a human, and those are very high levels of electromagnetic frequencies, ELF, extra low frequencies. That's the things you can't hear that just hits you on your head and it burns you like radiation, because it is a type of radiation. It's not full-blown radiation, but it's like a non-ionizing form of radiation. But I just wanted to give you guys an update. Some of the things she said to do to get my mind off of it. Go take a walk, go take a drive. They can still remotely hit me when I'm driving around. They've got something that's remote neural monitoring, so I can be in a Walmart. They'll hit me in the neck with something that's like radiation burn, and it actually compensates for motion. So I can walk along and try and get away from it, but it'll compensate and still hit you in the same place. So moving around does help, but it does have compensators on this technology. It's technology that's way ahead of its time, and they're using it to hurt innocent people most of the time. Most of the time, just weird, innocent people who they want to kind of torture. He's telling people he wants me out of this house, but they followed me across states. I've gone to extended stays and hotels. They followed me there, and I've heard him say, "Let's go ahead and finish this" on those times. So he doesn't really want me out of this house. He wants to torture me. He wants to torment me. I don't know what kind of a man he is. I don't really know him except for the torture. So that's why I think he's an asshole. I think he's Satan worshiper, demonic, because of what he's doing to me directly, not because I know his history or know him or know his know what he's up to actually, just because he's torturing the hell out of me all the time. He seems to have nothing else to do. And even when I'm doing good stuff like helping my dad to the restroom and stuff like he pumps it up because that seems more bizarre. And so when I tell a story about it, it seems like, wow, no, nobody would be that cruel, nobody would be that evil. But I don't know. This guy seems like, I'll just say he seems evil to me because he's killing me and hurting my family. So I'll say he seems evil. He seems like a Satan worshiper. He doesn't seem like a Christian. He seems like he wants to see people hurt. He wants to see people hurt, and that's what calms him down. Because when I don't, if I'm not yelling at him, and that's another thing. I went 2 weeks. I went 2 weeks because my post-traumatic stress lady, she said, ignore it, and it can get better. And that's true. If you ignore it, it can get better. Ignore it by not yelling at the people torturing you, because that's what they're going for. They're going for any reaction. Once they get a reaction, they can tell people, they can lie to people better, to make the torture more. They can lie, show video to policemen that they're getting on their sides to show that you're crazy or whatever. Then those people will give them, help getting the weapons. And since you're spending money trying to shield yourself, and they're getting these weapons kind of for free in a network situation, where networking with policemen or firemen or whoever, or ex-military, you're at a loss because you're spending your money and they're just getting their friends to kind of give them better weapons or torture devices, or I don't know what they would call them. I would call them torture death devices, no-touch torture. But I just wanted to give you guys, a new video. I'm doing pretty good, but I do get scared when I go to sleep that they'll really hit me hard. They've started hitting me not in the testicles but the prostate area, to really hurt me, to go to a maximum effect of trying to give me cancer or whatever their plan is. This is not a device, or these microwaves that they're sending into people's houses. It's not a way to evict somebody. You can't use terrorism and murder and violence to evict somebody from their house that you have nothing to do with. There's no laws to support that. There's nothing in the Constitution to support that. It's complete tyranny. It's barbarism. It's actually what it is. It's a technocratic barbarism. It's having technology that's ahead of its time, but using it for the most barbaric violence that you could ever think of. And it's sad. It's sad because someday this technology will be used for good. It will be used, EEGs into unhealthy persons' brains, helping people with their lives. Remote neural monitoring could be used by psychiatrists to see how somebody lives a life and to help them to correct, bad things in their lives. So it will eventually be used for good, but who knows how long that's going to take. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that something good will come out of my situation. I'm hopeful that something good will come out of all this. I hope. I hope, and I try and have faith. These guys they're ruthless. Most of these, he's got the lady next to him who really hates me. Hates me. He hates me. The guy across the street hates me. The Latino family next to me hate me. They don't know me at all, but because I'm here in this house and they have a good target, they hate me. They hate me. They find reasons. They surveil me in my house, and if I just use the bathroom or look at something on the computer that they don't agree with, they're like, oh, he's crazy. He's crazy. We need to get him out of here. So they're using private stuff in your own home, acting like somehow it has anything to do with them, which it doesn't. Nothing I do has to do with them except protecting my body from radiation. Like, I don't even want to talk about this guy because, he'll use anything. He'll be like, oh, he said that I'm evil, so I gotta kill him. He's trying to use anything that I say to make me out to be crazy. And I'm sure a lot of you are experiencing this. It's like nothing you can do with them helps. And that's why don't deal with them. That's why ignoring it can really help you, because it doesn't give him anything to grab onto. Like if you have a yelling fit, which I had 2 huge yelling fits after a big event for cancer patients that I was involved in. I had a huge yelling fit because it's just he's trying to hit me when I'm out just doing business, helping people. Like, it's insane. It doesn't make any sense. He doesn't have anything to do with me, and yet he tries to make his life about murdering me and taking me down. He wants to put me in a mental institution or something. The darkest stuff I've ever heard of in my life. And y'all see me complain about it all the time. And I want to send out more positive videos because I'm dealing with it. I'm shielding a lot of it with the Q-Wave, especially with the Q-Wave technology. I would get a personal defender. If you don't have a personal defender, I would get the money. It's like $300 to just get one of them. That has really helped me with the remote. With the remote shooting of it at me, that has helped the most. And I can almost go out. Like I went and saw Spider-Man 2 today. I love Spider-Man. My post-traumatic stress lady said, read a comic book or go watch a movie. Do that to get away from him. And I was in the movie theater for 2.5 hours watching the 3D Spider-Man 2, and I didn't feel anything. So he wasn't hitting me in the theater since it's such a big area. So if you want to go to escape it, try and find a big building, like a mall or a movie theater or something like that, because it seems like that dissipates, or outside, taking a walk, it dissipates the strength of the ELF and the EMF. If you're in your house and you're in a small room, it's going to burn you more. It's going to hurt you more. And so I just wanted to tell y'all, my dad, he's doing so much better. It's probably still going to affect him his whole life. My post-traumatic stress lady said, this has nothing to do with what's going on with me. My sister also said that, but of course they don't really believe me, If people believed you, like especially the really good ones in your life, they'd be calling senators and trying to get lawyers and stuff like that. But it's just like, you gotta kind of take the help that you can get. These are good people. There are so many good people. The lieutenant that I talked to, the sheriff's department, she was a good lady. I think what happens is these community organizers, or the people who organize this murder to you every day, they lie and they confuse people. They make it a chaotic situation in which good people will actually do bad things. Like good cops will say, oh, well, we need to get this dangerous guy out of this neighborhood, and they put it in a vein of actually servicing the community when they are just doing the most criminal things I've ever seen in the United States of America. This is like, people talk about, the U.S. government taking away our guns so they can kick in our doors and we won't be able to shoot them. That's not true. They want to take our guns so they can just shoot you with microwave weapons in your house, and then you can't do anything about it. You can sit there and, call the police all you want, and they're not really going to believe you. The only thing, though, is I've seen so many cops, caravanning me, city police and sheriffs, And I think they're trying to do the right thing. I think this guy has lied to them and made them think that I'm just this dangerous guy who's about to go off and kill people, so that they're actually getting involved. But it's like you see all that, and it's like I think the cops do know. I think they know. I think cops, firemen, I think they know about this. So when you're talking to a cop, and I think some of them don't, some of them do. And it's very sad. It's very sad that I'm a United States citizen in my home. I'm being terrorized, tormented, and he's trying to murder me. I mean, he is trying to attempt murder on me. He's like, well, if he's not going to get out of there, I'm going to kill him. Because I guess he thinks that'll make me move faster or whatever, and then he'll be able to follow me. I mean, they followed me across states. They follow me wherever I go. So I guess the good thing for him would be to get me out of here on the run, and then it's more fun with his surveillance equipment and his contacts. I'm not really sure, because I'm just not that type of person who would spend most of his life attacking one person in their house defenselessly and damaging their animal, and probably making just a lot of people upset. It seems like he's the most selfish person in the world. I don't want to have anything to do with his life. I don't want to hurt his family. I don't want to hurt anybody in this neighborhood. I want to live peacefully on my own, doing my own thing, writing, helping cancer patients, doing things like that. And I'm not saying like, oh, I'm a saint. I've smoked pot before. I've smoked pot in this house, and I think that was a huge. He grabbed onto that because he's surveilling me in my house. So he grabbed onto that and was like, "This guy's a criminal," and he tried to pump that up so he could justify murder. The only thing is, you can't justify murder of a United States citizen who's not dangerous and trying to kill or hurt anybody else. You just can't justify it. It's terrorism if you do that. It's terrorism and lies if you try and do that. And, I think these guys know. They know they're lying, so I don't know. Just try your best to ignore it. If you do scream at them and yell at them, they're just going to use it. The people who are using the weapons on you, who know it's murdering you, they'll use that to get other good people, oh, well, this guy's crazy, he's out of sorts, and they'll make up a story, even though they're hitting you with radiation that, it causes your brain to swell. It causes you to probably have episodes where you're angry, because he's like slapping you with radiation, kind of like a bully would slap you in the head and say, what you going to do about it, what you going to do about it, what you going to do about it, so to ignore it is hard, because that rage builds up. So over that 2 weeks of time where I ignored it and I didn't respond, the rage was just building up. So if you're gonna ignore it, you've got to find other things to do. You got to go run, or you got to go take walks. You've got to do some things. Make these videos. I say it's time. It's time to resist. This is the most illegal, evil thing that I've ever heard of or been involved in America. It's like Nazism. It's almost like I'm a Jew and he's a Nazi. And it's funny because on the microwave hearing they never use my name. It's always, let's F this dude up, let's put this guy away. He'll never use my name because he wants to dehumanize me so much. And what also helps to dehumanize the people who are trapped in their houses being surveilled is they're watching you use the bathroom. They're watching you masturbate. If you do that, if you still do that and know you're being watched. I took the road of, hey, you want to watch me do it? I'll do it. But he ended up using it anyway. So people were like, oh, this guy's crazy, he's masturbating in his house, while he has a wife and kids. So he has a wife, to make love to. I don't have a girlfriend because he is ruining my life and making me live in an enclosure in the middle of my house, and still he would judge me for masturbating. What else am I going to do? So it's really crazy. It's crazy. I'm kind of doing okay. I'm kind of accepting it and accepting all the bad and knowing that I can make a difference for you guys. There's one thing though, my YouTube videos, I had like 4,000 or 5,000 views and it went down to 3,500. So somebody online switched, they messed with the numbers on that. But like, I want to thank all you guys for watching my videos. I want to help y'all. I want y'all to help me. The person who said that shielding makes us look crazy, the only thing I can tell you is I would die. I'd be dead. You know, if I didn't shield myself, I would have just stayed in this apartment without painting aluminum and shielding. I would be dead. He would have killed me and not cared about it. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about killing people as long as he can remain hidden. Now, when he goes outside into regular society, he knows there are rules that keep him from murdering people on the street, so he won't do that. But he's in the shadows, he's got his torture weapons, and he's ready. And he's ready to take a life. He doesn't care. He just does not care. Cold-blooded? You know, I don't know. I'm just going off of him trying to kill me. Really based on nothing else but him trying to torture me and kill me throughout the years, through 2.5 years in my house. You know, trapping somebody in their house and acting like he's, I guess, a peacekeeper or somebody who's adding security to the neighborhood when he's actually just murdering somebody who's not dangerous, somebody who wants peace, and somebody who didn't want to have anything to do with him, who would have never had anything to do with him. So I don't understand their logic. I guess when you're trying to kill somebody, a U.S. citizen, and you have military experience, and you think that you have the privilege of doing that, there is no logic. The logic disappears. It disappears when murder starts. You know, and that's hard for me to accept, that there are people out there who just do not care if I live, but not only that, they're willing to murder me because they think there's some kind of new morality in the United States where if you have a certain kind of technological thing that hasn't been discovered yet, that it's not really murder. I don't know what he thinks this is. Like, I'd love to hear him say, well, this is what this is. You know, this is, you've smoked pot in your house, so you have committed a crime, so I can take my technology and murder you in your house because the law, like, I'd like to hear what he believes in that would allow him to be able to do that. What happens, though, is, you know, you get a bunch of people involved. He's gotten the people on the other side of me, the Latino household, the guy across the street, and once you get that many people involved, now it's a mob, and they're all doing just a little bit of damage to you to create murder. You know, this guy's putting on, he's shooting his weapons through. The guy across the street is, you know, pumping poison up onto my property, and then the other people, you know, they're shooting their weapons this way. And once you get a lot of people involved, then you can just throw out accountability. You know, it's not one person. One person doesn't have to say, like, if I died in my sleep or had a heart attack, they could be like, oh, well, you know, no accountability because there were a bunch of people involved. It's sick. It's un-American. It's the most un-American thing I could ever think of in my life. The most un-American thing I could ever... I mean, this is Nazi Germany. This stuff, this is a technocratic barbarism. I mean, just slaying people in their houses because you can, because they're there, and because you don't understand their lives, which you're surveilling, which means they're not doing anything regularly. They're not doing anything that they would do in their regular life. They know they're being surveilled in their home, and everything changes. Every way that they act changes. When you know that you're going to be caravanned on the street and hit in your home with radiation, everything changes. The way you act changes. Changes everything. You're not the same person because you're being attacked 24 hours a day. And so what they want to do, he wants to attack me 24 hours a day and really hurt me and then say, hey, look, this guy's crazy. Look, physically he's nervous and stuff. He's crazy. We can go ahead and kill him. So he wants to act like that just all happened before what he did, even though it's 2.5 years of torture and bringing me down, you know, and I don't want to have anything to do with him. Like right now, I can hear their microwave hearing. He's getting mad about me doing a video. He's incensed. He's, you know, oh, I'm insulting him or whatever. He's trying to murder me. Like, he trumps his evil, trying to murder me and hurt my family, trumps anything I could ever say about him, back to him. Like, I respond to the torture by saying, this guy's satanic. He's a murderer. He's an evil guy. I respond to his torture, but he says, hey, this guy, he's crazy. He thinks we're crazy, so we kill him. And that's what they feed off of the confusion. They feed off of the fear. They feed off of getting good people involved who don't really know that you're not crazy. They tell stories and lies, and then they get, little people, to harass you or whatever, who are actually good people. And they think they're doing the right thing for America, especially since he's ex-military. So he's using that to actually do evil. And I guess that's my opinion. From where I sit in my house, trying to just stay alive, trying to just not be in pain 24 hours a day. It's time to resist. This is not America. This is not American, what they're doing. They can lie all they want, and they can act like they're some kind of extension of law enforcement, but that is BS. That's BS, and it's un-American. It's almost, well, it is. It's communistic. It's like a hive mind think, and then, disobeying the law and then getting away with it. And just getting away with it because you've got connections or power. It's evil. It's evil to me. I think if you had that kind of power, you'd want to help people with it, and not try and just murder one person all the time through years. I mean, this has been through years, that every day. So there must be money involved. I can't imagine that. I can't imagine. Maybe he just has a military pension and he gets off on this. He's feeding off of it, or he likes it. I know he definitely doesn't want me out of the house because he'll follow me. He'll get different networks to follow me wherever I go. So I know it's not just getting away from me. He doesn't want to just get away from me, because if he wanted to just get away from me, he could just turn off his fucking, excuse my French, his surveillance equipment. He could just turn it off. If he wanted to be away from me, boop, turn that off. Turn the remote neural monitoring off. You can be away from me. You could be away from me, and I'd be a lot more peaceful, and I'd have nothing to do with you. I'd have nothing to do with him or his family ever again. I'd be totally off the hook from him. That would be, I'm just imagining it right now. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen, because the way that I just put in one phone call to the sheriff's department. I told them I'm not dangerous, that this guy may be trying to get good cops on his side to harass me. You gotta tell, these people are good people. These city police, these sheriffs, they deal with so much, so this is kind of snuck in there, and people are just confused. They're confused, and they think they're really hurting dangerous people, or trying to get dangerous people out of neighborhoods. It's all a very huge lie. It's a very, this guy has to shoot out propaganda at a minute-by-minute rate. Like, he has to keep saying I'm crazy. The things that he says the most are the lies. Like, so he'll say I'm crazy, say that he needs to get me out of here. Those are the two things that he says so much. And they're a lie because he has to keep saying it. He has to keep saying it. Things that are true, you say one time. You say one time, everybody's like, yeah, that's a true statement. All right, we don't have to, the end, But with him, it's a daily propaganda. He has to roll out the propaganda every day and trick people finally. My video is getting real long. Okay. But I just wanted to give y'all an update on me, and I'm still keeping the faith. It's ugly because it's all the time, and I really want to just live my life. But I feel like this is a part of my life now, and I want to help you guys. And I want to tell y'all kind of how people react to me when I tell them. I still will keep in touch with the sheriff's department. I'll tell my psychiatrist, my post-stress person, and try and ignore it. Ignore it, by not interacting with the harassers, by not interacting with the murderers. Don't interact with them, but don't ignore it. Like, if you think you can call the cops and explain things like, these guys are harassing me in my house, they're sabotaging my vehicle, and I just want y'all to know I'm not dangerous, I'm not going to do anything violent, I'm trying to do this legally. Explain it. The cops are good. Most cops are good. I don't know, I've heard some situations where the people thought it was policemen doing it to them, and I'm just not sure about that. All the policemen that I've come across during this have been good guys. They're good guys. Most policemen are good guys. They became a policeman to do good things and to help citizens. So, confuse it that way. Like, if somebody's lying to the police force to harass you, take the confusion out. Tell the sheriff's department, hey, look, this is what's happening. This is my address, and these people are harassing me, and I'm not dangerous, and I'm not doing anything wrong. Or if you did do something wrong, I've told the cops, I was like, I smoked marijuana in the house, and I think he used that a lot to get people to want to murder me. But smoking a little bit of marijuana is not justification for murdering somebody with radiation in their house. If he thinks that that's so, that because I smoke marijuana he can do anything he wants, he can rape my life and murder me in my house, he's wrong. He's just wrong. But what the thing is they have the power. They have the power to murder you in your home. So anything that you say is retarded and stupid. They go off of might makes right. Most of the very sociopathic or psychopathic people, they think power's it. That's the only thing. And if you don't have power and you say something and you speak truth to power, then you're an idiot and you're a retard. So anything that I say that's 100% true, he's like, oh, what a retard. He's talking to us because they can shoot me with radiation. So, that's a sociopathic view of life, where if you can kill somebody, anything they say is retarded, and any lie that you tell is right on the money. I'm kind of complaining too much, but just wanted to let y'all know my dad is doing a whole lot better. I still think they were involved in it. I really do. I don't know. You just can't tell because, he can have his friend satellite hit my dad, and he can be satellite hitting me here. I know the equipment is like probably tens of thousands of dollars, and they're wasting so much money, they're wasting so much time, and they're wasting all this equipment that really could help people, and really could, I guess, catch bad people. And I'm not a bad guy. Like, they've made me out to be the worst person in the world, because to murder somebody, you have to really dehumanize them. You have to really, and that's what they do. That's why they want to watch you when you're using the bathroom and stuff like that, because anybody around who they're trying to convince you're a bad person immediately dehumanizes you. There's no mystery to you anymore, and they're just like, okay, yeah, let's kill it. I hate that guy. I hate him. And I don't know if people know that that's the trick of it. They don't know, how these guys lie to them to get them involved, but it is. It's a huge lie. It's a huge murderous lie. It's un-American. I'm going to fight against it for the rest of my life. I'm going to try and sue the guy. I'm going to try and get police to help me. I'm going to do it all in a legal fashion. I may put posters out on my lawn to stop electronic harassment, and not point any fingers at him, but just make it known what's going on. Because a lot of people in the neighborhood know what's going on, and they keep their mouths shut. And they actually get involved, and they're like, oh, we hate that guy. We hate that guy. But all I've done is react to torture. That's all I've done. I didn't do anything to any of these people to start off any kind of torture. Like, they looked into my house illegally for months or whatever, watching me use the bathroom, watching me take baths, which is awful. Awful in itself. Just awful in itself. But they think because it's such a new technology that it really doesn't exist. It almost doesn't exist in their minds, and they're using magic, It's a type of technocratic barbarism. It's very sad, because a lot of these technologies, they will be used for good. They are being probably used for good right now, but this little core of murderers has grabbed onto it, and they're using it to, I guess, build up power, or make a name for themselves, or just feel big. I heard that some people they have a personality where they always have to have an enemy. It's kind of like the U.S. going to war with a lot of the Middle Eastern countries. You always got to have an enemy. You always got to be fighting somebody, because then you can build weapons, you can build connections, you can make money off of it. So I guess it's something like that. I don't understand. I would never do it. It's a waste of time. It's wasted my life. It's hurt me from helping cancer patients. It really does a lot of bad things for the neighborhood, because he's putting out poison to everybody's property. It could hurt kids. But they just lie about that and say that doesn't exist, because they have to lie. Every second they have to lie. And you'll notice, if you do have microwave hearing coming to you, and I've knocked that down a lot too, because I have plugs, and I have the Q wave technology, scalar waves. I've knocked it down a lot, but that's their biggest thing, is to lie. They have to lie to keep things going. And you'll notice on the microwave hearing, the things they say over and over and over, those are the lies. So if they're saying, yeah, you're crazy, you're crazy, you're crazy all the time to keep it going, that's a lie. When he's saying, we need to get this guy out of this neighborhood, we're going to get him out, we need to get him out, that's a lie. He's not trying to get me out, he's going to follow me when I go anywhere. Just notice the things that they say a lot. Those are the lies. Those are the lies. Because when you say something truthful, you're like, hey, my name is blah blah, and that's truth. So you just say it once and everybody accepts it. But to try and convince people, you got to keep the propaganda up, keep the propaganda machine going, and just lie, 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 lie until people start believing it. People start believing it, they start chiming in, and then you've lost it. And, you have all these people, and they're full of hate that's so artificial. I've never done anything to them, nor would I want to hurt any of these people's lives. If you can decide to murder somebody because they smoked a joint, that's insane. I mean, that's insane. That's a militant overreaction with murder, and it's un-American. I'd be willing to go to jail or pay a fine. I told the neighbors that are doing this to me. I told his wife what I was doing in the house. I said I smoke marijuana. So if y'all have a problem with it, I'll stop. And she brought that information to him, and they just started doing it. And she's not involved. She's not involved. She's in the house, but I take any kind of accountability away from her. She's a good person. She doesn't want it going on. She's trying to stop it, but it's taken on a life of its own. When you get a bunch of people in an area, and there's some people who get off on it, it's going to keep on going. Nobody can stop them because they're hiding in their houses. So until we find a way to prove this, and I'm gonna keep finding ways. And I put up a lot of aluminum polyester to block this stuff, and aluminum tin. Garbage can tops are good when you sleep, because you can put them next to your head, so if they're aiming for your head, it'll just bounce off of that aluminum tin. But I'm actually, after seeing Spider-Man 2, which is weird because, he's fighting Electro, and they talk a lot about electromagnetic, volts and stuff like that, and how to stop that. And I think that you can actually get capacitors to suck up a lot of this electromagnetic energy. I'm trying to figure that out. I'm trying to figure out what I would need, because I could get a car battery, put a positive and negative on some of the aluminum polyester. I'm not sure what I'd need to put between it, but I could create a charge that would just suck up any of that electromagnetic energy. And I know it's possible, but I'm just trying to figure out how to do it. And I think that's what some of the Q wave stuff uses scalar waves. It uses waves that neutralize it, so it doesn't really take in the energy and capacitate it. But I think there's a way that you could get capacitors like batteries, and find a certain charge and put something up to actually take that energy, take that excess EMF energy that they're shooting at you, and just put it in, and it would go straight to a battery. If anybody's smart out there, I'm kind of smart. I'm more of an English guy, so I'm more of a story. I like write and stuff like that. I'm not really that great at science. But if our scientists out there, if you're being attacked, and you can figure out a way to capacitate this energy, like to get capacitors and hook it up to something, and then that, put it by where they're shooting at you, and it could actually hit that and then suck the energy into a battery. And I think that's doable, but in my mind, I'm like, okay, that's possible, but it's really abstract, and I don't have. I'm going to look at YouTube and see if there's anything like that. I think that's kind of the magnets, when people put magnets behind their ears with the floss, and then it stops the voice to skull. I think that it's kind of that idea. It's magnetizing something, and those magnets can neutralize the energy, but I think there's a way to magnetize something and then direct that energy towards a battery. And I'm going to try and work on that with I'm kind of a literature guy. I'm not a scientist guy, but I'm trying to become one because it makes this easier. I mean, because think about it. I mean, I'm blocking 95% or 90% of the electromagnetic and ELF, the extremely low frequency stuff that they're doing. I'm blocking a lot of it, but some of it's getting through. Like a little bit of it's getting through. But if I could find a way to get that little bit that's coming through and redirect it to a battery, I'd be in business, and nothing could hit me. You know. But let me know your ideas. And I'm not trying to. The person that says that the shielding makes us look crazy and we shouldn't do it, I agree with you on the first part. It does make us look crazy, but I'd be dead. I'd be dead. If I didn't shield myself, if I didn't use aluminum, polyester, I'd be dead. I'd be dead. Or I don't know if I'd be dead, but I'd be in a lot worse shape than I am now. So I'm glad that I've done everything that I've done. And I'm going to tell people, because what I think the main thing that you should do in this situation is reduce the pain. That's what you should do first. And I guess that's maybe a doctor thing. First thing you want to do is reduce your pain, because if you're in pain and you're always in pain and they've always got you on the defense where you're on the floor and you're dying, you can't do anything. I mean, you can't interact with people who it's happening to. You can't talk to law enforcement the right way, because you're going to look crazy, you're going to look anxious, and they're going to blow you off. Like today, I called the sheriff's department, and I was very clear and nice, and they're the good guys. They are. Most of these cops, these city cops, and these sheriffs, they are the good guys. They want to do good things. That's why they signed up. There may be like 5% of them who are like jackbooted thugs who just got on the force to hurt people, but those aren't the people that you're probably going to deal with when you call somebody out. And I don't know, there are cases, like I've seen one of my friends, I guess, well, I don't really know him that good, but I've seen a lot of his videos, and he thought that the police were doing it to him. I'm not sure about that. In my situation, the police are the good guys, and I think that they can be confused and lied to get involved, but I don't think if they know that you are a legitimate U.S. citizen and you are not dangerous and that you're just trying to, safeguard yourself and help your family and you're a good person, I think they will jump to that. They'll jump to help you. That's what they're for. That's what they're there for. The secondary thing, this aberration that's going on with, I guess, community control or some kind of extra legal thing that's not legal at all, I guess that's a very, very secondary, or that's way out there for a lot of these policemen, and they don't want to do that. They use this equipment for real criminals, actually, to catch them, I guess, or they're going to use it to, I don't know, this stuff can be used for good, I'm sure, but it's not. It's being used to murder United States citizens in their houses. And I'm not exaggerating on that. They are trying to murder me in my house. This guy, if I had all of my defenses down and he could just shoot me in the head with radiation and kill me, he would. And I don't know what he would say about that. He'll probably get mad or something because, they are surveilling me while I do these videos. They're surveilling me when I talk to my post-traumatic stress lady. They're looking, because they're shooting microwaves into my visual cortex, and they're basically using me as surveillance equipment. And that's an impossible thing to believe. So you've got to remember that this technology is way ahead of its time. It's not out in the public. So when you're talking to psychologists and psychiatrists, police even, that aren't involved with these kind of weapons, you've got to give them the benefit of the doubt that they're not going to know what you're talking about. It's going to seem alien to them. I go ahead and tell them. A lot of people say just tell them that your neighbors are harassing you. You can go with that. You can go with that kind of defense, just telling them, hey, they're sabotaging my vehicle. Just stay with the concrete things that cops could deal with. But I go ahead and explain it, because I've had 2.5 years, well, more than that, because it started in an apartment like a year and a half before that. So it's really been 4 years of day-to-day torture, in my sleep, when I go anywhere. So I've had 4 years to figure it out and to look online and to research the type of energy they're using. I don't know. Like, I was thinking maybe after a certain amount of time, if you get the energy down to like only 5% coming through, that your body could just get used to it. You know, your metabolism could get used to it, and you could actually adapt to where it doesn't hurt you as bad. I don't know about that. It seems like when I block it and my body's just getting used to those small amounts, that it doesn't hurt as much, and I start being able to pull my strength up and kind of just and deal with it to where it doesn't really hurt me. Um, you know, in the long term, it'll cause cancer and stuff, so you got to worry about that. You know, it's like if it was just the pain and I knew this stuff wasn't going to cause cancer to me, I wouldn't be that mad. You know, I'd be like, well, I can deal with it then, you know, because a little bit of pain and then you just get away from it. But these guys, you know, if they're shooting it at your prostate, your genitals, your neck, especially, they've really harped on that, because when I do the defenses, they go for the softest flesh of my body. And I don't know if these guys are studying medical books like serial killers or whatnot, but they are. I mean, they're going for my neck, and it really hurts. It hurts, especially if you're eating. When you're eating, that's when they'll try and get me. They'll try and hit me in the neck. But I noticed after about 3 weeks of it, my body got used to it, so I could eat, and they try and hit me in the neck, and I don't choke. So know that if they do something new to you, don't freak out. Don't freak out. Know that your body will try and adjust for that. So don't freak out and say, well, that's always going to happen. If I eat, they're going to choke me. Your body will get used to it. You'll find ways to get around it. You know, you can adapt to it. Send me comments. I even want to hear comments like that. I mean, I like hearing that person thinks it's dumb, you know, to shield. I don't know. Maybe they're harassers and they're trying to get everybody to stop doing that, so we're easier targets. But I don't think so. I think it was just a regular guy who's going through this, and he's like, you know, you're making us look crazy. And I agree to that part. But in my situation, I would die. They would kill me, you know. And he has people that they don't want him doing it. You know, some people even in his family, but nobody's able to stop him, because he's like an alpha male. You know, he's running this show now. You know, the bad guys who want to murder are running the show. And I don't blame any of the good people around me. I don't blame anybody who doesn't want to see this happen. I don't blame my family for not being able to stop it. I don't blame anybody who's not a part of it, who's been trying to help me. And I guess that's been my greatest strength, and I want to let y'all know that. That has been my greatest strength, knowing that there are people out there who really want to help us. And that's how you stay out of a mental institution. I've seen a lot of people go to a mental institution for this, and I think that's because they get mad at people who don't believe them, and they become dangerous and angry. Try and be a superhero, man. I mean, try and be a hero during this. Try and know that there are other heroes out there who don't want this going on. They don't want people being hurt. So many policemen, so many sheriffs, you know, so many of law enforcement do not want to see this happen. And I know for a fact that is true, that they are good, and they go into that service of the law to protect people, to protect citizens no matter what. And they love the Constitution. There are maybe a small percentage that want to take the law into their own hands. Who knows why? I don't think anybody will know. I think it's very secretive. I think this whole thing, the people around never know what it's for. Really, they never know the big picture. But it will suck us all under. I mean, it will suck all of America under if this goes on. There will be a silent Holocaust in America, people dying in their homes, and then it's even worse, because then they're shown to be crazy, and that's an even worse abuse. So you're being sexually abused, ritually abused, attempted murder on you, and then it's like you can't get any help because people just call you crazy. But what I found is if you handle it the right way, you never have to be called crazy. It's like, because I talked to my psychiatrist and my post-stress lady, and it's like at first she was like, okay, I think you're schizophrenic. She wasn't saying that. She was saying, well, lots of schizophrenics are nice and stuff like this. But then as I talk to her more, because I'm smart, I don't get mad at her because I know she's on my side, she starts to kind of deal with it as if it's really happening. And talking to the sheriff today, she kind of knew it was she knew the score, and I don't know what I mean by that, but I know that she wasn't talking to me like I was a space alien. So a lot of these guys, they know stuff's going on and they want to help. And I'm telling you, I talked to a lieutenant in the sheriff's department, and I didn't see any cop cars for the rest of the day. I don't know what that means, but I think there are some good people out there, and they're being tricked into participating in this stuff. Those are the people that you want to get to, and you want to say, hey, I'm the good guy. I'm not doing anything bad. I'm not going to hurt anybody. I'm going to try and do the most legal thing I can. I mean, and I do. I don't want to get this guy back, but I do want to sue him. I do want to, I want to see him face justice, just like he's trying to make me face his kind of justice. He's trying to murder me for, I guess, smoking pot. I don't know. Or, if I don't smoke pot, then he's just crazy, we got to kill him. So he just changes the lie. But I do want to see him face justice. And the people that are just helping him without, even knowing me, I do want to see them face justice. But I'm not going to, go over to their house and confront them, because that's the worst thing you can do. Then they can make it anything they want. I think at a certain point, for a while, these guys were kind of facing the truth. They were torturing me in my house, and saying, like, I'd get stuff to put up, and they're like, I'd hear on the microwave hearing, oh, well, he's resourceful, so there was actually some kind of humanity still going along with it. But at a certain point, they realized that this is a secret little place in the community, and they can say whatever they want. He can say and make this out to be whatever he wants, and he realized that at a certain point, and then it became seriously vicious with them just like saying, this guy's crazy, it doesn't matter what we do, we can murder him because he's just crazy. At a certain point, they realize, wait, why are we even trying to stick with the truth of this? And then they just go into severe what did I call it before? Severe lies, but propaganda, because he's a military guy, so he is hitting this propaganda every day and trying to tell people, this guy's crazy. It doesn't matter if we kill him. He's so crazy that his life doesn't matter. That's where he's trying to bring it, and every day he tries to bring it a little bit further. Also know, though, that there are some people who can be tricked by that, and they'll get into that, and they'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, this guy's crazy, let's kill him. Pepper, what are you doing? She's my guard dog. She's my little guard dog. She's been really hurting from it, too, lately. What was I saying? Oh yeah, okay. So there are a lot of people who can be swept up by this. They can be swept up by the propaganda, and they'll probably seriously believe that you're crazy and that they're killing you for a good reason. Like, there are some people like that. But know that there are some people who would never do that. They'll never go over to that side. They will never believe that killing a person is justifiable in any way, shape, or form. There are some people out there who will never, ever go to that line. They'll never go across that line. There are a lot of people, and I think there are a lot more who will. The confusion, the chaos of it, they'll go over to that side, because they're a little bit conditionable. They believe in a hierarchy, and if somebody's an authority figure, semi-authority figure, they're going to go along with what they say, even if it's a lie. And they may not know it's a lie. They may just look at the authority. Look at this guy, he has no authority. Look at this guy, he's ex-military. He's right. And I've heard people actually say that. Some of my attackers were like, well, the guy who told me to do this was ex-military. He's an ex-Marine, like at the apartments where it started. And he was like, so I'm going to go with the ex-Marine. He's like, this guy that I'm harassing downstairs, he plays video games, and he has long hair, and he's a hippie. I'm going to go with the ex-Marine on this one. So there are some people who can be swept up by it. There are people who will never be swept up by it. Good people who will stay. Like, I don't want to murder. I don't want to murder anybody, and I'm not going to murder anybody, and I'm not going to torture somebody in their house. There are people who will stay there. And I don't know if it's 50-50. I don't know if there's 75% of people who will never do it and 25% of people who are kind of just going to be conditioned with whatever happens. I'm not sure of the percentages. I kind of like to know after this, because I've met some people who will kill. They'll kill American citizens. and they'll make up stories about it, and they like the power. I guess that's the only reason, because I don't even know them. I don't know them. I've never done anything to them, so I can only suppose that they like the power, or they really think that this is okay, that you can kind of do pre-crime, and that if they don't like the person and think that they're going to do crime in the future, that they'll want to wipe them from the face of the earth. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't, like I said, I'm kind of a writer. I'm kind of an abstract thought kind of guy. I can do a little bit of science, but when it comes to people, I thought I knew. I thought I knew before this, but I knew nothing. I know nothing. I can seriously say that everything has changed for me. You know, I always thought that people, because my dad and my mom are the best people on earth, and they'll always try and help people. They're never going to try and judge anybody or put something off on them. They're the greatest people in the world, and I think I may have been a little bit spoiled to have them as parents, because there are people out there who, you know, if they have a chance to get power or something like that, they'll lie about you. They'll make you their enemy so that they can have a war, and they can get the good stuff from the war, the microwave weapons, the connections to the police department or something like that, and they could give a crap about you. They don't care if you live or die, you know. And that's what I think this guy, I mean, he's trying to murder me in my house, so I don't have that great of an opinion about him. I've yelled a lot. Like, when I yelled the last time, it was 2 weeks of pin-up rage of him just raping me with this radiation. And I yelled some of the most obscene things. I was cussing like a sailor, you know, saying things about him that are horrible. And if he recorded any bit of that and went to his police buddies with that, I'm screwed. I'm screwed. Because he can just say, oh, look, this guy is completely psychopathic. We need to kill him. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get a reaction out of you where they can be like, this guy's a psychopath. We need to shoot him with radiation and take him down. And so I fed into that so many times, and I'm trying not to. And well, my post-traumatic stress lady, she makes me feel good, because she's like, well, you messed up, but that's not the end of the world, you know. And I felt like, dude, when I responded to them by screaming and getting mad, and stuff that I was saying is 100% true. Like, I'll say that right now, it's 100% true for me. I'm not saying that I'm upset about saying it because it's false, because I lied. I'm upset about saying it because it doesn't matter. This guy's not going to be like, oh, well, I'm a bad guy, and just believe that and stop. He's not going to do that. He's going to use anything I say to further his cause, and he's militant about it. He's very militant. He's working on it daily. He's working on it second by second. And so it's like, I'm not just dealing with EMF frequencies. I'm dealing with the person who is trying to either kill me or get me out of this house and then follow me. So either one of those endings is not good for me. Like, leaving this house and being followed, spending money, and then being followed, or having new people set up to do it, who then have the legend, is going to be even worse. It'll be even worse, and then I'm not going to die. You know, I'm not going to be killed in my house. I won't do. I've been through too much. I have Crohn's. I have an autoimmune disorder. I fought, you know, through surgeries. You know, I fought real things in my life, and so this is not going to kill me. Not even close. But that's, the shielding helps with that. So I do want to tell the person with that comment that, you know, I would be dead without it. So that's an important point. I know that it does. Like, look, this is an enclosure in the middle of the house. Like, I've had many girls that I've come across that I want to ask out, but I will never ask them out. And then my psychologist is like, well, just go to their house, you know, just do that. But I'm like, well, I have a house here. They're eventually going to have to come here. And so it's like, it really hinders my life. It really screws up my life, and it does make me look crazy, but I'd rather be alive and crazy and trying to, you know, come up with a solution that's different, and so then I can ditch all this stuff. Maybe I can come up with something better. Like, I've come up with a couple of ideas that I could maybe sell, like, you know, make a 6x6 thick aluminum with hinges on it that would fold up every day, that you could just sleep in, but then fold it up when you wake up. But also, like, I wouldn't know how to make that. Then if you got something like that, a 6x6 thick aluminum tin, and then we're able to put a charge in it, like, I'm trying to figure this out because I know you can take that electromagnetic energy and just, it would all go to a battery if you got the right thing for it to hit. So scientists, help me out here. If you have something already done like this, let me know, because I've got a little bit of EMF, a little bit of ELF that's still coming through, a small percentage, and not all the time, because sometimes they'll mess up and they'll shoot it through the wrong place in the house, so the aluminum will bank it off. But scientists, help me out with that. If there's a way to capacitate this electromagnetic energy, I think that we could help a lot of people. And I think there is. I think maybe some people are already doing it, with the magnets especially. But to capacitate this, if you could get like 3 car batteries and then the right kind of thing for the electromagnetic or the ELF to hit, to absorb, and then go to the capacitors, and you could get really powerful ones, so it could suck up a lot of that energy that's all around. I don't know. It sounds like it would work. It sounds like, I just saw Spider-Man, so I'm trying to be all scientific. But if you really have science knowledge, kind of help me out with that one. Yeah, I am doing a lot better now. I don't know. It's like I've cut out so much of the energy that my body's kind of getting used to it. And I'm just, this is the most horrible thing a human being could go through. Being tortured like that, your life being devalued so much that people want to kill you. Like, because I hear a lot of people on the microwave hearing, and they're just going along with them. They want to be along with the power. They want to be along with the guy who has police connections. They're not going to look at me and say, let's not kill him. They're like, yeah, let's kill this guy. You believe that? Let's kill him. Yeah, bad guy. But what I've learned in this horrible darkness is that if you have faith in God, that's going to help you. Faith in Jesus Christ, well, it depends on what your religion is, but just faith in God. Faith in God, and even if you're in a bad mood, just tell God you're in a bad mood, and you can act horrible. Don't act horrible to people, but you can be in a bad mood, but still just have that belief and that faith that you'll get through it, and He will. He'll help you. And also, and this may be God working through people, but there are such good people out there. Just like there are these people who don't care about life, and they're killing people for their own reasons. I don't know this guy. Like, I don't know him. He's been surveilling me, so he's killing me and trying to do this for his own reasons. It has nothing to do with me. And that's what I tell my psychiatrist and this post-traumatic stress lady. This has nothing to do with me. The guy could turn off the surveillance equipment and not see me, like, if he really wanted to. This is not about me being a dangerous person. It's about, I think they pick the least dangerous people. They pick people who are going to take their time and try and do what's right, because then they have more time to kill you. They're not going to pick some, tatted up, angry guy with a bunch of knives and guns in his house. They're just definitely not going to do that. So maybe that's the way to get rid of them. Just get a bunch of tattoos and get a bunch of guns on the wall and knives. I don't know. But that's one thing that I've learned through all this. There are good people out there. And I think that the good people are the majority. And even some of the people who are involved in this are those good people who have been mixed up and confused by these people who orchestrate it and get it going. So even some of those people, what happens is, if you're a jerk to all those people involved in doing this, and you're like, well, fuck, F those people, F them, then they'll start to just go over to that side against you, and you've lost them. But I think there are some people who are confused about this, and they do think it's like an extra legality thing where they're just helping the law. They're a neighborhood watch. But in no way, if you're torturing somebody in their home, in no way, shape, or form is that an extra legality thing. In no way, shape, or form is it an American thing. It goes against the Constitution. It goes against our laws. It goes against everything. It goes against humanity, from my point of view. It goes against humanity. I think these guys are traitors to humanity, because think about if it was switched around on them, and somebody said, well, they're trying to kill a human being, like somebody above them in authority said, you guys are trying to kill a human being in their home? Okay, well, I'm going to hit you with a satellite and kill you. and see how they would feel about it. I don't think that would happen, but you get my point. Alright guys, well this is just a video. I think it's been pretty positive. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I just kind of rattle on. I did want to, I'm eventually going to write something up, some statements that may sound a little bit better for people trying to get lawyers to help them and trying to get police to help you. Maybe what you should say when you call the police department. I'm very honest, and I say, these guys are hitting me with torture weapons. That I would call them torture weapons. They would call them, like machines or emitters that actual police use probably for actual real stuff. I'm just really honest with them. Like my neighbors, they're harassing me, they're torturing me. They're trying to kill me in my home. At this point, like when it first started, like the first month of this, when I first moved in the house, the guy was, he's telling everybody he's just messing with me, and it's taken 2.5 years to grow into actual murder. He's had to push the line every day, and that's what these guys do. He's trying to, tell lies good enough every day and tell these lies over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, so that people will start believing them. They'll start going along with them. And some people are susceptible, and I'm not saying that people are dumb. I'm not saying that the people who are susceptible to being conditioned are dumb. They're built differently. They respond differently to a hierarchical structure, and maybe that's why people like me, people like you are picked, because we're not so quick to go along with the hierarchical structure. We're different thinkers. We think on our own. We have our own opinions. We would deal with the situation differently than anybody would deal with it. And maybe that's why we get picked. I don't know. But there are a lot of people who are very smart. They're very cognitively efficient. Like this guy who's trying to kill me, he's not dumb. He's not a retard. He doesn't have any deficiency like where he has damage to his brain, but he's built differently. He's a psychopath where he doesn't like when he kills me, when he hurts me, he's cold-blooded, and he doesn't feel like, oh, that human's feeling pain, whatever. He's just like, I'm on mission. I'm ripping that person down, and he doesn't really think about it as a human situation. He's just like mission, ripping person down, let's put him away, it's a mission, and he can do that. He's built that way. To me, that's out of my purview. It's out of my perspective. I could never think like that. When somebody's hurt, I feel bad even if I'm not doing it, and I want to help them. Like I'm saying, I'm not a saint. But that's just how I'm built. And I think people are just built differently. But this can happen. It can get out of hand, and a lot of people can try and kill somebody and not really think that it's bad. Just have a reason for it. They have a reason for it, and they don't have any empathy, and then you're up shit's creek, So I would just say, if you don't think you have to defend against it doesn't hurt you that bad, then you don't really even have a problem. But this stuff, man, it would kill me if I didn't shield. So all right, I'll make another video in a couple of days, or maybe sooner than that if I think of something. But I might start maybe writing some stuff down. I might go see a lawyer. I might do that. I don't know if they could help me if I don't have proof. I have visual proof. When I walked around the house, I did see him using one of his weapons, and it looked like a speed trap gun with a target on top. I did hear him talking out in his backyard about it with one of the young Latino gentlemen, talking about hitting me with the weapons from his back window to my kitchen. So I do have visual confirmations, but I'm not sure if that's, lawyers need physical proof. So until we can figure out how to get physical proof, and I don't know if that means getting an EMF meter and reading how much EMF is coming through your walls. I don't know if that's enough proof right now because it is a new technology. But until then, we have to just resist by ignoring them in the way that they can't use your fits or your, what you're saying back to them. They can't use that against you. You don't want that. But maybe calling the cops. If it gets so bad, call the cops. Be direct, and just say, I'm a good guy, and I think this is, some people who are not, they're not right in the head. They're torturing me in my house. Say, it's with a high-pitched sound emitter, or, don't be like, oh, it's EMF, and expect them to know what the acronyms are. Kind of explain it. Be like, high-pitched sound emitters, and there's something that doesn't even make a sound that makes pressure on my head and my neck and my genitals, so it's some type of weapon that they can shoot through the wall. And even that, some people really don't know about. But if we talk about it enough, and you call enough police with it, and enough people go talk to psychiatrists about it, I think eventually it will be brought in as a real problem. And that's what I'm hoping to do. I tell as many people as I can. Not like at my job, not with my parents. I try not to talk to them about it anymore. But with professionals, I think that really helps me. It helps me so much to talk to that post-traumatic stress. I guess post-traumatic stress counselor is what you'd call her. But I go talk to her like 1 hour every 2 weeks, and it helps me so much to just not feel alone. Also, sometimes I'll look at videos of other people going through it, and they feel like almost exactly like I do. With the perpetrators of it, they feel exactly like I do towards them. So I feel like that kind of gives me a connection to doing the videos. Like, I feel like I'm probably making more of a connection than even just looking at other people's videos. I'm really connecting with you guys out there who are experiencing the same things. And I know this another guy who's been leaving a lot of comments, and I'm sorry I don't remember your name. God, you leave a lot of comments, and you were talking about the chemtrails, and the chemtrails were actually, I've seen them a lot around. Like, I went to the neuromedical center with my dad, and one day I noticed they were doing like chemtrails right by the neuromedical center. And then I went to my parents' house to sleep one night, and I noticed chemtrails around there. So the smart dust that he was talking about that actually increases the effectiveness of these EMF and ELF emitters, I'm starting to think that is a reality. And like, I don't know, he brought my attention to that. I'm sorry that I forgot your name, because you leave a lot of messages for me. But I'll on the next video I'll give a shout out to you. But I think the smart dust is true. I think if they do smart dust around, and people who are targeted individuals, get a lot of that in, it does increase the effectiveness of these weapons. I think the Epsom salt, getting that toxin out of your body can help. I think it can help just a lot anyway. And God, I wish I could remember your tag. But I'll give you a shout out on the next video, buddy. Because a lot of the stuff you've been saying is totally what I'm experiencing. Shooting electricity pains on the side of my body. And he did say that his dad got testicular cancer during all of this. And it's hard. It's hard because they're coming from so many directions in the shadows. It's hard to not go there, because my dad was a healthy guy who's never had any health problems. And after my 33rd birthday, the 2 weeks after that is when he started having headaches constantly, ringing in his ears constantly, and then an aneurysm. And since I have so much shielding up, I've heard that if they are remotely hitting you, that they can do it in more than one place. Like, they could be remotely hitting me in my house and my dad in the hospital. So I do know that is possible for these remote neural monitoring things. So for me to just throw that out and be like, no, it definitely had nothing to do with them, is impossible for me. It's impossible. I'll always have that doubt that me meeting up with these guys caused that to my dad. And that's like, it's like I was watching Spider-Man the other day, and it's like Uncle Ben. I feel like I was irresponsible to even get connected to these people, and then it's hurting my family. So I feel like it's my responsibility to talk as much as I can about it, to help as many of you guys. And I don't know, I guess that may sound kind of hammy or whatever, but I think all of us in this situation have a responsibility now, because it will ruin our society. It'll ruin our society, and it'll kind of tilt the power into the hands of people who don't care about people. And we all need to kind of deal with that. All right, well, I'll do some more videos. God bless all you guys. Stay strong in your faith. I've kind of gotten away, I haven't been watching my religious shows or staying with Joel Osteen as much as I want to right now, but I'm trying to stay with my faith in other ways. And there is a God. There is a God, and there's accountability from Him. So stay strong in your faith. Stay strong. Just stay strong in general. When you feel bad, try and get as far away from the abuse as you can. Go take a walk. Go take a run. Go take a drive. Go to a movie theater. When I go to a movie theater, I can't feel it because it's a big room. I notice when I get into a big, like, atrium area, like a mall or something like that, I feel it less. And I think that's going to be for pretty much anybody getting hit remotely with this stuff. All right, I love you guys. I wish for the best in your situations. Leave comments, even if they're negative. If I'm doing something stupid or saying something stupid, call me on it. Because I do want to not make our community look crazy. I kind of talk fast, and I kind of talk about a lot of things. I always imagine, like, I was like, oh, I'm going to do my next video, but I'm going to really slow down. And I'm going to say, all right, guys, let's resist this, and, go slow. But I always end up, I want to put a lot in the videos. But just leave a comment if you have anything to say to me, if I'm not doing something, or maybe you have a better idea for how to get the information out. Let me know, because we're a community. And I feel like one of the problems, I actually called one of the other guys with YouTube videos, but I think at that certain point, he had been hurt. He had been hit by so many different angles, and he had been hit in the the mental institution that he had stayed at, and I think he really felt so much paranoia that I think he thought that I was a stalker too. So we didn't get to connect as much as I would have liked, and I think that may be a problem of ours, is that we're all paranoid. We all have people maybe coming into your life and acting like they're your friend, and they're actually on the stalker side. All I know is there are good people out there. There are good people, and I think you can tell. I think you can tell when you come across them, people that want to help, and I think you can tell when there's somebody that BS that is going to try and hurt you. I am not a stalker. I had one comment that said they thought that I was a stalker, and I don't know why, because I don't speak well. I'm not together enough to do that or whatever. But I did have one comment, and I think they thought that I was a stalker trying to put out videos and hurt our community. So if I know that I'm not a stalker, that I'm being pounded every day and tortured every day, and like I wake up from a night of sleep just almost not thinking I can go on because I have such headaches and such, it's like microwaving me in my house. But know that I am not a stalker, but also if I'm maybe bringing some of this information across that you think makes us look bad, or that you don't agree with, or that you do something different, leave a comment, or make a video, or definitely leave a comment to me, or send me an email. It's vulcanwolverine@gmail.com. That's the email I'm using. I'm not using my real name, just because if I want to get jobs, and the job I'm at right now. But I care about you guys. I care about you guys because I think this is the toughest thing. Like, I've been through surgeries. I've been through family members getting hurt. I've been through a lot of stuff in my life, and this is definitely the hardest thing. It's not hard, like, because when I had surgeries for my Crohn's and parts of my colon taken out, it was like my family knew what was going on. My friends knew what was going on. They knew I was going through a hard time. And so they gave me credit for it. It's just like these cancer kids that I work for. People treat them like kings and queens because they know what they're going through. But I think what's hard for us is that people are going to treat us crazy because they don't know what we're going through, and we're going through the toughest thing a human being can go through. So know that I respect anybody going through this. I respect you all so much because I'm a tough guy, and this has had me in tears a lot. It's had me thinking that I was going to lose it. It's had me thinking that I can't go on. I don't even want to go there. But I know a lot of people who this happens to, they do commit suicide. I'm never going to do that, and I want to put that down here on the record and probably on paper that I will never commit suicide, no matter how bad this gets. So these guys can't kill me and say it was suicide. But I understand. I do understand, because it's like the hardest thing a human being can go through. I really respect you all. I love you all, and I want to be on y'all's side. If you have any questions or you think that I'm, saying some information that I shouldn't, or making the police department look bad, I think they're good guys. I think that even some people who get involved in this stuff with the caravanning and stuff like that, they really think that there's a dangerous psychopath that they're doing this to. That's what this guy would want them to believe. The guy who's doing it to me, he wants them to believe that I'm just crazy, and I'm so crazy and so far gone that it doesn't matter how much they abuse me because I'm not even a person. That's what they're trying to do. That's the main thing they try. That's the main lie, is to dehumanize you. They want to dehumanize you because that's what the Nazis, remember, in Germany, that's what the Nazis did to the Jews. They gave them numbers. So they didn't use their names. They used numbers. And that's what these people are doing on the microwave hearing. They're saying, let's get this guy. Let's put this guy away. This guy, this dude, this crazy fuck, or whatever. They never use my name. They never will use my name. Because if somebody uses my name, then I become a little bit more human, and it's harder to do. And so these guys, they know what they're doing. They really do. I mean, this guy's not dumb. He's he's ex-military. He's militant, but he's not. He's cognitively smart. He's cognitively gotten through a lot of things that I thought were stonewalling him and stopping him. But he uses treachery. He uses stuff from the shadows. He's not like coming up in my face and winning an argument. He's doing everything in the shadows and illegally and trying to murder. But I'm not saying he's stupid. I'm just saying he thinks completely different than me. And that could be the problem here. He sees somebody who thinks very differently than he does, and he thinks that's crazy, and I could think he's crazy. But my point is, I could think he's crazy all day long, and I'm not going to get involved in his life. I'm going to be like, as long as you're not murdering people on the street, go about your business, and I'll go about mine. I want to go my way, you go your way. That's my whole point here. And I don't see why he has anything to do with my life. I should go my way, and he should go his way. And the only reason I'm making these videos, the only reason I respond to him, is because he's torturing me on a second-by-second basis. I would have nothing to do with his life otherwise. Which I think that's the whole stupid thing. We don't even have to be involved in each other's life. So why is he involved in my life? What does he get out of it? And we can make conjectures all day, but I couldn't tell you, for real. I couldn't tell you the one true reason why he's doing this, what he believes. Alright guys, I'm going to put out some more videos. This is an hour and a half. Wow. Alright. I just talk and talk. Okay, I love you guys, and God bless. Leave comments below. And I'm going to try and do some more videos, maybe do a video on if you call the police. I may do like a fake call to the police, so y'all could, maybe some of you who are very scared about calling the police, to know how to do it, because the police respond to me very well. They haven't been able to stop it, but they'll either try and give me ideas of something to do to catch him, or calling the lieutenant at the sheriff's department today put a kibosh on cop cars caravanning me. She said maybe they were cops because I had made some reports, so maybe they were cops patrolling to actually help me in this situation. I totally believe her. I believe when you call cops with this kind of crazy information, that they are doing something. They may not, be able to confront your neighbors and fix the situation, but I believe that you're on the map, and the good cops are like, okay, what's this? Is this some crazy person, or is this somebody we need to protect? So I totally believe, everything she told me. And there are good cops out there. There are good cops and good sheriffs. That's why they got involved. And there are good military guys. There are great military guys. They're not all like this guy. This guy, they don't all want to kill people in their houses. And I don't know this guy's reasons. I really don't. I didn't do anything to him, but I could see where, if you were smoking marijuana in a house, he took it as a personal insult and has an axe to grind or whatever. but never murder. You know, it just doesn't justify murder. Anyway, I've been really long-winded today. Still gonna put the video up in an hour and a half if you want to listen to all this. It's good information, and it's also, I want to hear information back from y'all, like especially from people who don't agree with me. If you don't agree with me and you don't think you should shield for some reason, give your reasons. Say why. Say what else you could do if you're not shielding. Give other way. If you could give me another way to protect myself, I'm all for it. I'm all for any ideas, because we're basically the target individuals involved. We can't get help. You know, most of us are put into mental institutions, and I think just not getting angry, and not getting mad at people for not believing you. I think that's the key to not being put into a mental institution. And to actually, when you talk to your psychiatrist, say, no, I don't want to go to a mental institution. I don't need help like that. You know, this is really happening. You cannot believe it's happening, and help me that way, and I'll take your help and not get mad that you don't believe me. But it's all about not getting angry, because once you get angry, and I've had some just blow up yelling in my house, but it's stayed in my house. So it's either stayed in my house or my car. So it's not like I'm out in the supermarket yelling, you know, they're trying to kill me, you know. But that saved me, you know. It saved me not getting angry, especially when you're talking to people who want to help you. Because, you know, if you don't get angry with them and you don't get frustrated, they don't believe you, they can still help you. This lady gave me tons of things to work on to get my mind off of it. And even though they're really doing it, and she thinks that I'm kind of just imagining these things happening, it still works the same way with getting your mind off of it, especially the microwave hearing. If you're dealing with the microwave hearing, when you focus on something outside of your head, like you're focusing on music or somebody else talking, even put on a book, you know, a book that somebody's reading on YouTube. You can look up a lot of books that people you know, read, just somebody else's voice, and focusing on that'll help a lot with the microwave hearing. Playing video games, I guess reading, you know, getting your focus on the outside, and not focusing, because I notice sometimes, like, if I'm not focusing on what the microwave hearing is, then I don't hear it at all. Alright guys, leave a comment below. For the guy you leave comments all the time, you're a cool guy, and my situation is pretty much just the same as yours. I think we've got situations where we have ex-military, cops involved, and I think they do some of the smart dust, you know, the planes who do the you know, what's it called, I can't think of it. I can't think of the name for it. What is it? The chemtrails or whatever. I think that has something to do with it. I think it is kind of smart dust. I'm not sure, like, all about it and how long it lasts or whatever, but he was talking to me about that. He's like, you know, he's talked about a lot of stuff that's happened to me it's kind of cleared it up. So he helped me a lot, and I'll give you a shout out on my next video, man. Everybody stay strong. Know that there are a lot of people out there just like you, and that helps. It helps to not feel alone. Come to my videos and watch my videos. Listen to me babble on about it. It helps me. Like, I listen to William Vidar and Todd Giffen. He has a lot of problems with it, and he's the guy that I called, who I think he was a little bit paranoid. He's like, well, I'm getting on a bus, so I'll talk to you later. And he's been wrecked. Like, he's had so much damage to his brain and stuff. Like, I feel so sorry for him. I called him, and I sent him an email just telling him about some of my shielding, because he's had damage to his body and, like, his muscles, and they're microwaving him, you know. I don't know if it's police in his city or if it's just people who live next to him or live by him, but he's being remotely hit. He's being microwaved. I mean, he's being killed. And if he had some of the shielding that I have, I know it can reduce it at least by 50%, you know. And if you can get it at least by 50% reduced, and I've reduced what they're doing by probably 90%. I'd say 90 to 95%. still that 5% kind of, it gives me headaches and it makes my muscles ache. So even that, just that little amount hurts me. So if I went back to 100% of what they're hitting me with, I don't know, I may get an aneurysm. That's why I kind of I'm a little bit suspicious about my dad, because he has no shielding. He would have had 100% of what they're trying to do to me to him without shielding. And I know they can do it in two places with the remote neural monitoring. I know they can hit you here and they can shoot it somewhere else, because this stuff from a satellite, there's a lot of things that they can do with it and play around with it and compensate for motion and things like that. And this is just from me being tortured by it and listening to other people talk about it. So I couldn't imagine, like, if I could actually get my hands on some of this equipment and like study it, and like use it directed at stuff that I'm trying to shield with. I couldn't imagine how much I could learn about how to shield. If I was actually controlling the levels at which it was hitting me. All right, guys, I love you. I hope some of this information helps you in your life. It's never the end. This stuff can't kill you. I mean, it can hurt you real bad, and it can slowly kill you and maybe give you cancer, but there's always tomorrow. If you do bad today and you do act out or scream or something like that and you feel like crap, there's always tomorrow to evolve, to adapt, and to become the person that you need to be to beat this stuff, because it's inside of you. God doesn't give you anything that you can't handle. And I know that's hard to hear. That's hard for me to hear when my brother says it, because this is like murder in your house. It's like constant war, for people who aren't really set up for war. It's usually people who are marginalized and artistic, and we don't want to go to war. We want to we want to have peace. We want to, just talk to other people. We don't want to go to war. So there's people who want to go to war, and you don't want to go to war. They're against you. So I know it's really hard. I know it's hard to hear that God doesn't give us anything that we can't handle, but He doesn't. Know that if you're going through this, you're stronger than you even think. If you think this is going to stop you, or you think this is going to take you down, pray to God. Start praying to God and asking Him to give you that strength that He knows you already have, because you already have it. You're a strong person. If you've been picked to do this, to go through this in your life, you're stronger than you think. You're stronger than you think. You're stronger than you think. Be strong. Know that there are people out there who care. They care and they want to help you no matter what. A lot of these people, if they did admit what was going on to you was true, then they'd have to take a lot more action. It would be a lot more trouble, so they try and help you from where they can. And just understand that. Understand that it's new technology, and that in due time, information about this will come out. More people will know about it. Hold out. Hold on. Hold faith. Hold hope. You're good. You're good guys. You're good people. And even if you did something wrong legally, there's no justification for your murder, okay? So if you believe that for 1 second, or believe that you're just crazy enough that these guys can kill you, and you're so crazy and it doesn't matter if you live or die, that ain't true. It ain't true. So I love you. God bless. And remember, if you're looking for strength, shield yourself with stuff, but also pray to God, and He'll give you stuff. I mean, He'll meet you in the middle, and He'll give you ways to get through this. Stay with your family. If your family doesn't want to hear about this, hang out with them and try not to talk about it. I know it's so hard sometimes. Like, I want to tell my mom, oh man, they're hurting me so bad, Mom. I just want to cry to her because I'm her kid. But, today I went over and she was working, and she said, how you doing? Because my dad's in the house. I said, I'm doing great, Mom. I'm doing great. I love you. Don't even talk about it. And I guess that's why Spider-Man helps me so much. I love Spider-Man, and it's like he goes out and he's doing all these fights, and then he talks to his Aunt May, and he's like, yeah, I'm great, yeah. And he has his own little world, and people, they'll catch on to that. They'll know that you're dealing with something, and they'll try and help you if you just don't beat them down with it, And I know this is a situation where we need help, and we really do need to beat down some doors and get some people to help us, but there are certain people that you can do that with, and certain people who you just want to enjoy their company and love them, and use every minute with them just to love them and give them your support and let them give you their support in the way that they can. Like my mom, my dad, I'm going to try not to talk about this anymore and just act like, I'm dealing with it. But I love you guys. God bless. I'm going to be back with some more videos soon. I know I've been kind of out of commission, so I guess that's why this one's long. I really felt like, well, I don't know about this. I don't want to tell any of you guys not to take antipsychotic medication, but I started taking Seroquel, and I don't think it really helped me. I think it made me tired, and it made my mind tired, and it made me not want to do videos. It kind of made me just like a lump, It made me feel a little bit better, I guess, guilt-wise, but I don't know. I started taking it, I stopped doing videos, and I stopped really thinking the right way of how to protect myself. And I don't know. Antipsychotic medications could help some of you guys to just deal with the stress and the anger and stuff like that. I'm definitely going to still take something, but I was taking like massive amounts of Seroquel, and it kind of made me more sensitive to the EMF. It kind of made me sleep more. So it wasn't good for me, but it's not the same case with every human being. You got to find out what works for you. Don't listen to me. Do your own research. Go with your own experiences of what hurts you less when you do this or that. I love you guys. Let's get through this. I don't think there's a lot more time where this is going to remain hidden. And that's going to be our biggest strength. When people start understanding there's a technology out there and that there's a part of society that's using it on us, on people. Sometimes the government comes out and says it about things like this. But I've been running long today. I love you guys. Stay strong. Just stay strong. Do something that empowers you when you're feeling like you can't go another inch. Just do something that empowers you, even if on the microwave here and they're calling you a loser for watching a movie a bunch of times. What you do in your own house should have nothing to do with them ever. And it should have nothing to do with them ever. Like, you should be able to watch a movie over and over and over and over in your house. You should be able to do whatever crazy thing you want in your house if you're not hurting somebody, and nobody should be able to say anything about it. Love you guys. Stay strong. God bless you, and if you're having trouble, call on Him. Call on God. It may be something that's going on that you could do, that could be a quick fix that you're just not thinking about, and He'll bring it to your attention. I really do believe that. I believe that faith carries us through. And kind of the Seroquel kind of made me just like, I wasn't even thinking about it. I kind of separated from my faith a little bit. And I don't know if that's with everybody. I don't want to say don't take medications that'll make you feel better. I've got to find a different, mixture of medication that'll help me, or maybe none. I don't want to talk. That's just me, and I'm not even sure about that. I'm going to work with my psychiatrist more on that. But I love you guys. Do your best, and like, if you have a good idea and something that's working for you, do a video. And if you're embarrassed about being on it, cover up your face, or put a picture up and do a computer voice. If it's a great idea that's really helped you and helped the pain, and is just real, just out there, smart, please make a video, or leave a comment with me, and I'll put it in one of my videos. If you have some good ideas that you want me to put out my videos, let me know. If you don't want to do your own video and you're like, well, just put this in your video, this worked for me, I'll totally do it. I'm totally into that. I just want to get the information out there. I want to help all you guys, and I know y'all all want to help other targeted individuals, because it's tough. It's tough. Even if you're a good person, even if you're a strong person, because it's just constant wearing you down. And know that if you're weak, like if this has weakened you, you're not a weak person. This could tear down the strongest of individuals, because it's all the time. It's constant war, and people just aren't built for that. Our systems start doing a fight or flight, and it starts to be, it starts to just wear on you, even if you're very, very strong, because it's not really a fight. You're not fighting. You're kind of just taking in the torment, taking in the torture, trying to shield yourself. So it's not really a fight. It's kind of just a bunch of people tormenting you. Be strong, though, especially with the psychological stuff. And I'll tell y'all this, I don't care about people driving around me. I don't care if this guy got 20 white cars driving by me. I don't pay attention to him. I look in front. I go about what I'm doing. So the psychological stuff, they don't do a lot of it because I don't care about it. If you start like complaining about that, or like, oh, there's these cars, oh my god, and and start videotaping people in Walmarts that are trying to follow you around or something, they're gonna do it more. So really, don't just act like you don't care about that. Try to really not care about it, because anybody who's gonna waste their time following you around in a Walmart or at a certain time driving around a corner, it's the worst, most loser thing you could do as a human being. So really, try not to just act like you don't care if you really do care about stuff like that. But get to a point where you don't care about that. You're better than that. You're better than this stupid psychological. Like, I think the lady 2 doors down, she drove her car out at the same time as me the other day. I don't care. And that's when I was yelling at him. I was like, you could drive out, you could get I was being really, really crude, and I was like, you could get everybody in this neighborhood to drive out at the same time, and I wouldn't give a bleep, bleep, bleep. It's not the best thing to do, and I'm finding other ways besides confronting them and yelling at them, because that doesn't help me. And even judging this guy on this video doesn't help me, because he gets mad about that. But I'm going off of him torturing me. I'm not going off of me knowing him. I'm going off of what he's doing to me. What he's doing to me is satanic. It's demonic. It's evil. It's not American. It's traitorous to America. So I'm not judging him based off. I know this guy next door, and I know what he has inside of him, and I can tell. I'm just going off of what he's doing to me, just the actions that he's taking towards me. So, but just be careful about that. Be careful how you judge, and if you yell at them, be careful what you yell at them. Or I would just say ignore it. Don't yell at them. Don't interact. Don't interact. Even if you're trying to be funny, because that's what I did at first. I tried to make it a joke, and I was like, oh, guys, this is kind of what I'm thinking now, because I knew they had a pathway to me. Don't do anything. Don't try and be funny. Go about with real people in your life. Respond and talk to them. Try to cut yourself off as much as you can from these people who are abusing you. Try to cut yourself off visually, psychologically. Just try and cut yourself off, and don't judge them or whatever. Unless you're doing a video, and I'm going to stop judging this guy. I'm kind of getting to where it's just the situation. It's a bunch of people do this. So this guy's not the only one. He's not the only guy who's doing this evil thing and really succeeding at it. He is. I mean, he's really succeeding. He's really hurting my life. He's hurting my family. So his mission is, he's succeeding in his mission. But he's not the only one out there. A lot of people are getting caught up in this, and maybe it's time for me to stop blaming them. For me to start doing exactly the right thing, because I think smoking pot is illegal in my state. So I didn't think it would hurt anybody, and it really helps my autoimmune disease, so that's why I did it. But some people see that as, especially if you're doing it over and over again, they see you as a criminal. They see you as somebody who doesn't care about the law, and they think that just that pot smoking will turn into something very criminal for the neighborhood or something like that. So there's a lot of different perspectives out there. Know that too, and try and fly as straight as you can and do exactly, and I hate that. I hate having to behave, but if they'll latch on to anything and be able to convince other people to get into the chain of psychological harassment and the chain of physical harassment by stuff that you're doing, you may have to just stop doing that. I may have to stop masturbating. My post-traumatic stress counselor said to keep doing it. My psychiatrist said to keep doing it. He does it. She does it. They're like, yeah, that's not weird at all. You can masturbate as much as you want. Just don't get addicted to it, but I may just have to stop it because he does kind of work off of it. It seems like the women in the neighborhood who are involved in it, they don't, you know, masturbate that much. It's like a kind of a guy thing to do it so much, and some women probably don't do it at all. I don't know. But so if you think that it's winning him, if you think it's winning your abusers some kind of victories with people joining in, you might just need to stop it, even if it's not wrong, just to make your life easier, and just so you can get to that next part, just so you can feel less pain from their torture devices. All right, guys. Well, leave a comment below. I love you guys. And more videos to come. I'm gonna do some stuff written down, and maybe some ways, what I've done when I talk to police, which has really worked. Like, and I think maybe that's why the person said that I was a harasser, because things that I do work. Like, I go talk to a psychiatrist, it works, but he doesn't believe me. Like, I talk to the post-traumatic stress counselor, she doesn't believe me. She thinks I'm schizophrenic, but it works. It works. We end up finding a middle ground and helping my life. So that's the main thing you want to do. The main thing you don't want to do, that you want to do right now, is convince everybody this is happening, but you may not be able to do that. You may need to settle for people helping you with what they think is a mental condition or an obsession or something like that. And that's fine. Just keep talking to them like, hey, I respect that, what you're doing, but this really is happening to me. Stand your ground, but also receive their help on whatever they think they're helping you for. I love you guys, man. Leave some comments. I kind of want to, get some groups together. If you know of, I don't want to say where I am regionally. I don't want to give my name, but if me and you email back and forth, and you want to like meet, or you have a good targeted individual group in your city, I'd love to come, because I don't have any targeted individual friends to talk to. I'm trying to kind of find one. I may actually do a group therapy, but not with targeted individuals. But let me know if you have a great targeted individual group, or somewhere that meets like twice a year just to network or stuff. Let me know about it, because I've been dealing with this for 4 years, and I want to talk to some of you guys face to face. And maybe if somebody's, I know that there was a big group that talked to some senators or some representatives, and they got some good information out on that. It was like a biological weapons panel for the United States. I think it was in 2012. But and if y'all have, if somebody out there is like a leader of one of these groups, and you need somebody to speak at one of those, I'm totally into that. I really want to tell my story. I think I can be a good addition to proof and evidence about this in my case. But I love you guys. Leave some comments, and I'll be leaving some more videos. All right, bye guys.